Hello once again, everyone, and we are live here with Firegirl, the Hack and Splash Rescue with Julian. Hey, Julian, how's it going?
Doing great. Thanks
Well,
for having me.
welcome to the stream. No, we thank you for participating in the X. Um, your studio is pronounced Dejima, right?
Yeah, Dejima. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about it? When did you start? Is it this your first game? There are many ventures.
So Dejima started back in 2015 as a solo dev project. I released my first game in 2016. It's a roguelike called Illumin that you can find in Steam. And we've been hiring more people and working different projects. And Firegirl is our second big project that's coming out later this year.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit about Firegirl? Before people see it, so most of you already saw it on the chat. But to somebody that never saw it, what's your pitch of the game?
Yeah, so Firegirl is a 2.5D platformer about firefighting. It takes place in a world that's suddenly engulfed in fire monster attacks. And Firegirl is a young firefighter that just came in the fire brigade, and she's gonna try to rescue the civilians, bring the fire brigade back to its former glory because funding is not what it used to be, and she needs to recruit more people and also uncover the mystery behind why those fire monsters are attacking suddenly and where do they come
Mhm.
from.
So we can jump to the games. Let me change the window, and here it is. My camera did not freeze. I'm getting better at this streaming thing. So here we have the splash screen of Firegirl. I'm going to activate the music so we can see we can listen to the awesome soundtrack. I always ask this question: did you made it primarily with the gamepad in mind, or it was something that came up after you figured out the gameplay?
No, it's really gamepad like in mind. Like the game, as you're gonna be able to see, is very inspired by 90s Japanese arcade games, like The Fireman on Super NES or Mickey's Magical Quest, also on Super Nintendo. So it's very like it was designed with the gamepad in mind, but you can also play it with like mouse and keyboard. I tried to make a decent enough mouse aiming.
Because sometimes these games are really easier to aim with the mouse because you can just click where you want the
Yeah.
aim to be. But I find it really fluid to aim with the sticks. So good job on that part.
Thank you. Yeah, because you're shooting a fire hose. It's there's supposed to be a lot of recoil. It's not something you can walk and shoot normally. They're supposed to be like sit down, and so there's a latency with the aiming, and so replicating this with the mouse aiming was a little difficult.
Here are the fabled fire monsters
Yeah.
on our
Exactly.
fire building that is on fire.
Yeah. So yeah, the fire station is in really poor state because it's even on fire.
I love this blend of 3D environment with the 2D pixelated characters. Is this was this always the first design decision, or you just tried multiple avenues and ended up with this one?
It actually started as a purely 2D game, completely flat, but since we had fire, we really wanted to have like dynamic lighting and shadows being casted, and it looked better. The more depth we added, the better it looked. So we ended up adding more and more depth until we ended up with this like fully 3D environments. But we kept the 2D characters to have this perfect platforming that was very important to us.
Yeah, and to people who haven't played it, it might feel that it might be hard to navigate or to control, but the 2D and the 3D blend perfectly. It's really fluid to play.
Yeah, it plays like a 2D game. Yeah. It's very important that you mentioned that. You're right.
Now here I get my first rookie, which is the handy woman of the station. I concur.
Yeah, she was a plumber fixing the sink, but then the fire station caught fire. So, as you can see, you can use the hose to extinguish enemies, but also to hose jump, we call it, and to glide down. So we use it also for traversal a lot. I'm seeing someone in the chat mentioning Mighty Switch Force too. It's actually a game we played after having started playing the game. Like, as I said, like games like Fireman are much more of an influence to us, and obviously also Mario Sunshine for the jumping mechanics.
Oh yeah. Is there anyone in the team that has firefighting experience, or you just like the theme in general?
No, it was the game's lead artist that one day came to me and said, "I have a game pitch. It's called Firegirl. It's a girl who's firefighting and there are fire monsters." And he said, "Go." I'm the designer and programmer, so that was my job, and I really liked the idea. I felt like it was a cool opportunity to make something that's a little bit Castlevania, a little bit Contra, but also I had in mind those Fireman games that I really love. I did.
How big is
Sorry.
the team? No.
So I'm the designer and programmer. We have Gabriel Miller, who's the lead artist. We have two other artists, a 2D artist and a 3D artist who helped us, and a composer, Philip. You can find the soundtrack on Spotify, by the way, if you want to.
If you have a link, you can drop in the chat. Everybody will probably check it.
Yeah, I can drop that later. And and we get a ton of help from, of course, our publisher, Thunderful Games. But yeah, mostly a 6-person team.
So, do you advise me to extinguish the fire or just ignore them most of the time? Because it gives like 5 seconds, I think.
Yeah, you're getting... Most monsters give you a second when you extinguish them, so, like, for example, those ones that are very easy to extinguish and give you a bunch of seconds.
But they always take more than a second to extinguish, right?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We really wanted, like, people to wonder, oh, should I go for it, or do you have time to extinguish the flames, and always have that question. So now you've rescued a survivor. Just need to find an exit. So the game, all the missions are procedurally generated. So I don't know where the exit is. I cannot help.
Why do I have you here if you can't help me?
I can help you, but not with that.
Oh, I need more momentum with this. What the first time I played it, I always got scared of these little arrows because they have fire in them. So I tried to throw water at them.
Yeah, we have like I think 30% of the people are scared of those arrows the first time, but when you realize that it's just showing you where the next area is, figure it out.
This seems like an exit, but it isn't.
No.
Oh, I'm so dead.
Yeah, but you saved someone. That's what it was.
I'm going to burn, but good. At least I saved someone.
Yeah.
For the first run, it's nice. Maybe I can use the momentum of the burn to get to the other.
Actually, you can. It's something you can learn how to do.
Not this time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait for the 5 seconds. I lost on purpose so you guys could see what happens when the time runs out. But there's these fans. Is someone broadcasting my efforts to the world?
Yeah, you have media coverage everywhere, basically, and so you're getting fans. I think my picture is right in front of the fan counter, but behind me, there's a fan counter that's telling you how many fans you're getting. You're getting fans for rescuing people and cats. Don't forget cats.
Cats are very important to rescue. Yes.
Extremely important. And those fans will donate money, basically, which you will use to buy upgrades.
So I'm kind of an influencer, also, not just a firefighter.
Yeah, you don't have a choice because funding is basically gone. Public funding these days, I don't know how it is in Portugal, but here in France, it's not the best it has been. So you need to find money. You need to recruit more people. You need help. So.
And what about the progression? I'm going to show some now that I got to the second run. What can you tell us about the upgrades and the persistent elements of the game?
Yeah, so now if you go to the first floor and to the right, you've hired the plumber, and now she can help you upgrade your hose so you can have a bigger tank to have more water, or I would recommend higher pressure, but
I'm getting both.
If you have enough for both. But
my fans support me, so I have money for both.
Yeah. And so higher pressure means you're shooting, you have more range with your shot, but you're also jumping higher. And at some point, the hose basically turns into a jetpack. You can fly, you can float in the air, and it's really helpful for later levels that are much more vertical.
You really need to be mindful of how much water you have in your tank, because although you aren't 100% crippled, it's almost certain death at some point.
It's much harder, but as you go along in the game, when you buy upgrades, it becomes really rare that you run out of water in the end game. Actually, we even have an upgrade where you automatically refill water with time. So.
And why did you choose to have long animations and long time to turn the hose?
So this actually is gonna be different in the more in the final version of the game. We already changed that based on feedback. Oh, really cool. So you're gonna see it's a special person that you're rescuing right there. Yeah, we wanted the hose to really feel powerful, and that it's not like an immediate turn, and that you feel that it's like it's like an actual hose. Actually, one of the people at Thunderful Publishing is a former firefighter.
Oh, that's cool.
And told us that shooting a fire hose is actually extremely difficult because it's so powerful.
You must have
the recoil is like crazy.
Yes.
So, yeah. Of course, we didn't try to do it to make the game a simulation, as you can see. But we wanted to, some parts of it to be a little faithful. Remember to look up and down with the figures in those cases. I don't know, you still have a minute or so. Yeah, the pose she's using when firing the hose is actually a real firefighting pose, which is called the knockout pose. I guess it's from Japanese firefighters.
So you, although you don't have a firefighter, you did your research.
Yeah, we did our research, of course, because we were like trying to find the right pose. I thought because you're aiming at 360 degrees, to me it was very important that you could move and shoot at the same time. Also because I like those kind of games. I'm a big like old Castlevania fans or old Contra, those kind of games. So
yeah, it feels really old school, but in a good way. It's very, you can notice the inspirations, but I also noticed what you build upon and improved on those.
Thank you.
You mentioned the release. Is it planned?
Yeah, so the game is coming out on Steam on December 14th. Sorry. As you can see, you've rescued someone a little special, and there are several like special civilians. Once you've rescued them, you can actually hire them in the firehouse to become firefighters. So this guy was working in a union, so he can help you like negotiate like taxes, negotiate funding, so to get like to save money basically.
So it's good to invest first because it adds up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And we have like several like unique firefighters like this that you have to find in the levels, and that's how you build back up like the firehouse.
I'm going to the metals part, so you can also...
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we have an in-game achievement system that you're unlocking medals, and those medals, when you equip them, you can equip 3 medals at the same time. That give you perks, and those perks can be like really powerful. So this one, you're consuming 25% less water when shooting while on the ground, but some of them like give you a lot of health back, or even increase your damage with the hose. And some of those achievements are very hard to get. They're like really for...
I don't know what the full version is going to look like, but I saw the achievements and there are some hardcore ones there.
Yeah. This is like most of the people in the team haven't gotten them all on the dev team. Like they're really meant for like the most difficult ones are really meant for people that are really good at the game, like better than me. You don't need those to finish the game at all. Like the main upgrades like will do the job. But I think most people will probably unlock like 7 or 8 of those medals, and will already like be able to create a full loadout.
Because the upgrades are also pretty cool, so it gives you an incentive to go out of your way to achieve. I saw one that you needed to hack 50 objects, I think.
Yeah.
Run. So while sometimes you may ignore them if you are looking for the specific object or the specific achievement, it changes your gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's an achievement that most people will naturally get while playing at some point, because with upgrades you'll get further and further in the levels and find ways to hack like 50. I think most players will get that without even thinking about it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of achievements. You can have as many as you want, so you can throw in some achievements that players almost get automatically, and then have some really hard ones for the hardcore players.
Yeah.
What platforms is it going to be available on?
That's gonna be on all the consoles basically, so PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Series S and Series X.
And since it's so optimized for gamepads, it should play really good on all the consoles.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with how it's looking on consoles right now. We're still optimizing it, but
it comes up. It comes next month, right? As you mentioned.
On PC, just on PC.
Okay.
The consoles will be next year.
Because I was going to say that it's probably 100% closed already. But if you can change consoles, it's just mostly optimizations, right?
Yeah, we're optimizing. We're changing a few things, like some interface things, like details, but the gameplay is raw.
What were sorry, you can go.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, what were, if any, the major issues that you had during development?
Major issues.
Like if you were locked choosing a game engine, or if there was one platform that made you take the different choices that you would want to.
I mean, all platforms have their own challenges, but it's the same for everyone. No, I think like balancing the difficulty of the game is always challenging when you're working on a roguelike, because when you're working on the game, you play the game so much that you become really good at it, and so it's hard to realize that sometimes you're making a game that's too difficult. We're not trying to make a super hardcore roguelike. We want to make a game that like people who enjoy retro platformers also enjoy, and people who don't like roguelikes, like maybe they try that one, and that one, by playing that one, they will like it. Yeah, I think balancing difficulty was challenging.
How does the difficulty scale to make up for players that are too good and players that are terrible?
So we're scaling difficulty in a kind of particular, like, different way than most people, because our levels are not pre-generated as you launch the level. We're actually generating the levels in real time. So as you are playing the level, the game is checking how you're doing, what you are doing, and generating the rest of the level depending on what you're doing.
So, that's genius. So if I want an easier level, I should pretend I'm terrible at the beginning of the level?
Yeah, you can try, but it probably won't help, because we also have a clock running.
Yeah.
And the closer the clock goes to 0, the more intense the fire gets. That also allows us to do that, to dynamically. So if you extinguish a lot of fire and gain back a lot of time, the fire will actually recede. So we have that dynamic thing going on. That makes the difficulty scaling like a little different from most games, because we're actually scaling the difficulty inside the level, not just from one level to the next.
Yeah, even the whole level adapts to your playstyle. That's a really cool idea.
Thank you.
And even if the players aren't good, although they get easier levels, they also get funding even if they don't perform that great, like I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So they can always get the upgrades and...
Yeah, exactly. So if you perform better, you're progressing faster. But all players will get a little bit of funding that will help them like get a few upgrades and help them like move, progress in the game a little bit.
Okay, this run went good. Thank you. As I told you, I pretended I was terrible and it worked. I got hit right at the beginning. It was on purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of that I got the recruit right after.
No, you're just getting better.
Oh, fire! Oh, I have cosmetics here. Fire helmet, fire coat, fire boots. Oh, they give me a shield.
Yeah, so a shield is like a heart, but you cannot heal it during the level. But it's a big upgrade.
But so it's basically a heart, a fancy heart.
Yeah, it's a heart.
Can't be refilled. Cool.
Yeah, but it refills in between missions, but you cannot refill it during the mission. So it's...
This guy has like 4 shields, 5 shields.
Yeah,
why
it's
don't
a
they
tough
send
guy.
this guy to the fire mission? No refunds. This isn't compliant with EU laws. You have 15 days to refund. No questions asked.
Yeah, so the story behind this guy is that this was used to be like a camping store, but he saw that the firehouse was opening again, and he decided, there's an opportunity to make to sell firefighting gear.
I was trying to find some Easter
Nah.
eggs, but there aren't any yet.
Not in this demo.
Let's go to another run.
I think you can go check the guy that you recruited last
Yeah.
time. It should be on the 3rd floor.
Oh, there's a guy that just took a shower there. He's drying his beard, his mustache. Looks
Yeah.
so posh. So I'm going to get a 5% increase in income because I deserve it. I'm a very dedicated firefighter and the raise is long due.
Absolutely.
So I can decide to raise the incomes by myself, which is nice.
Yeah, he's helping you like negotiate.
So, how many runs would, if you can tell us, do you think would take an average player to get the whole content?
To finish the game, it really depends. Like the demo you're playing, for example, I think you're at your 5th run now, probably. But I've seen players complete that demo with a single run. So,
just
it's
shaming me all over on the street.
No, I'm not shaming you, but I'm telling you that it's really depends because since we are generating the levels in real time, the levels are actually infinite. So you can keep playing if you're able to manage the clock. You can keep playing and playing and playing and keep rescuing cats and get more popular and more popular. And so it's difficult to say, but right now in this demo that you're playing, there's only this apartment environment. But later in the game, there are more environments. We have a train that's on fire. We have a big forest level, and we
forest
have
fire seems really hard to deal with as a firefighter.
Yes, it's a tough level, and we have like a luxury hotel, kind of like big skyscraper. And also more unique levels and boss encounters later on.
Oh, I got a lady that's in a rose. Are all the how many different survivors rescue do you have in the game?
40.
And how many of
Yeah.
those join your group?
We have seven unique that you have to find, and each of them give you like different upgrades and different perks. Some of them are very like unique.
And the more important thing, how many different cats?
So we have the regular cats that's everywhere. In the forest we also have bears that we rescue. It counts as a cat, but I like rescuing bears.
Rescuing bears, that isn't very common.
No, but why not? I like it. But we have 3 unique cats that are hidden in the game, and you'll get like a really cool perks when you find them. Those are achievements. And some of them have never been found, even by like members of our death.
They're generated. So since the levels are randomly generated, they're. Oh, I lost it.
Yeah, the levels are generated, but I'm telling the levels what to do. So
Yeah,
I
but
know
for
where
some
they
players,
are.
so even so you hit it with a purpose, and still no one found it, right?
Yeah. So it's important for us to mention that so the levels are procedurally generated, but it was very important to us that the game felt like handcrafted. That every environment feels more or less unique and have personality, not just like random hallways and corridors.
So the added prices, the difference in prices is to scale the difficulty to obtain the extra shields, right? You expect players to always get the boots first, I imagine.
Yep.
The X, what does this X do? It's faster?
Yeah, it's much faster. It's way faster. So you lose less time when breaking doors and breaking like debris. It really helps a lot. Like, you're like basically gaining 1 second per door you're breaking.
Yeah, because the base X feels a bit clunky in the sense that if you miss it, you have like this huge backswing that you need to wait for to finish, so that you have again. So there's another feature that you upgrade and improves your odds of surviving the level.
Yeah.
Which I would need based on my very good demonstration.
I think you're doing really good.
I just want to save the cats. And for people who aren't used to roguelites and roguelikes and these kinds of games, you're supposed to die a lot.
Yeah, totally. And like, what's different in Firegirl compared to the cat? To most roguelites is that a run in Firegirl is just a few minutes. It's not like 40 minutes and then you die and you have to start again. So we hope that people don't feel like as discouraged as they sometimes do in some of those games. Like failure is like, yeah, I died, but there's just another mission waiting for me and I can keep going.
A very important part of this style of games is to get the user right back into the mood to get another playthrough going. And if it's fast, you can feel that you can always have another one. Oh, is this?
Yeah.
A German Shepherd.
Oh.
So there's also dogs.
Yeah. So that's you can recruit him.
Oh, that's awesome. Pet companion.
Yeah, it's a really good character to go rescue.
How many of the unique characters are available in the demo?
They're all available in the demo. It's just like random
you
generation.
just don't have time to unlock everything, but you can experience and know each of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, already it's the second person you can recruit that you're finding. The ideas that you're finding want to be like every 2 or 3 runs max. You should be able to find them at a good pace, and most people that finish the game have found all of them probably.
I still have to find another. Do I get any bonus from just leaving now, or should the player always keep going?
I mean, you can here. There's only just a minute left, so do you think you're gonna be able to make it?
Well, I think I might make it. I might not. But if I don't make it, I still unlock the new recruit, right? I just lose some hospital bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if it was real life, I'd be home by now. But since then, let's keep proceeding. Show must go on. Another question: if, for example, if you had infinite budget, would you change this game? Would you have made it different, or this is like your exact idea of what the game was going to
be? It's not the question of ideal, but it's, to me, it's very important to know when to stop working on a project. Because I think a lot of indie projects never come out because the devs obsess over like tiny details and have a vision that they want to convey, and I totally respect that, but I think sometimes it's cool to accept that you cannot do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And that you have to stay humble, and you're doing your best, but at some point,
perfection sometimes is what breaks a lot of companies. They try so hard to make the perfect game, and when they could have made 3 very great games instead.
Yeah. So for this game, we're really focused on making the game feel as good as we could. Like the pure gameplay, like jumping, firing the hose, was a huge focus, and of course the art style was something we put a lot of effort on. So if we had more time, we would be adding probably more levels and more enemies, but we have that coming. We have post-launch content that's on the way, and after the game is released, there will be new levels, new enemies.
How many different enemies are in the demo and versus the final game?
In the demo, there aren't that many. I think there are probably 4 or 5 enemies here.
I think there's the guy that runs, that stands still, the one that throws stuff, the bats.
Yeah, there's one you haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right at the end.
It's gonna be in a second. Tell me about this book.
Yes. So this is actually the moment where the game restarts, where the story is gonna kick in, because you're realizing, as you can see, that those fire monsters are actually a very big problem. That's not just cute little monsters, but there's actually an old pagan fire god that's alive, and that's the source of all those fires, and you're gonna be investigating where does it come from, and those books, those fire tomes you're finding in the levels are the key to figuring out where it comes from and how to get rid of it.
Very big fire monster, I am.
Come on, you can do it. Get close. He only has 10 seconds left.
No, I hope I was close.
Yeah.
So this is for everyone in the chat. This demo is available on the store page? Not yet.
It's not available anymore. It was available during Steam Next Fest, but it's not available anymore because we've made changes on the gameplay. We changed a lot of things, so no, it's not available. Yeah, here on this footage you can see some of the other levels: the forest, the train.
The extra content looks really intriguing. I'm used to this breaking into rooms and going up levels, and the forest seems really straightforward, so it's probably a very different gameplay experience, right?
Yeah, we tried to make each different level type a completely different experience in terms of gameplay. The train is very linear, of course, but it's way more about platforming. The forest is very, very vertical, and then you have a hotel level that that's after that we haven't showed yet. That's even more complex than that, and that has like even stronger enemies.
So this is the point where the demo resets. So I'm just going to change to the cameras.
Excuse me.
So here we are back. And how many post-launch? Do you have any plan on how many post-launch content is going to be added, or you're going to figure out along the way depending on the user base?
Yeah. This is going to be like a factor for sure. But we have plans. We have new monsters that are already planned. We have new levels, more unique levels that are also planned. But yeah, we'll see like what how the reception is, and depending on that, we have stuff that we can start working on very quickly.
Yeah, I imagine it's the usual. If we sell X copies, we do this. But if,
Yeah.
for example, you end up selling a lot more copies than you expect, it probably becomes a bigger passion project than it already is.
Yeah, and also like incentives like for the publisher too. They will know like, oh, if we're selling that amount already, that it means that we're gonna make enough profit for it to make sense to like fund a DLC or like content like this.
Yeah, depending on very good outcome of sales, would you prefer, if you had the choice, not the publisher, to keep working on Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescue, to make a Firegirl 2, or a brand new game? What's your passion?
I mean, we already have plans for more content for Firegirl, so I think we would love to be able to get those out. We have ideas for a sequel, but we also have ideas for other games. We even have like another project that we've worked on quite a bit, so that could be like that's pretty advanced already. Yeah, so
can you tell us about it, or is it a secret project for
no, no, we cannot talk about it. It's very different from Firegirl, but yeah, we have more idea and passion than we have time.
Yeah, it's the problem of the ages.
Yes.
I don't know if
24 hours per day is not enough.
Yeah, I don't know if you could drop the start page in the chat, or I can find it, and the Spotify link, so that people can find
I will do that. I will do that.
And how did you find IndieX? I don't know if I asked this already. I think I didn't.
It's our publisher, Thunderful. I think they've like I'm not connected to Twitch. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If someone can link
the link. Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescues. I have it here. So it was your publisher who...
Yeah.
That's great. Let's see. I'll just drop it in the here.
Yeah, we've been really busy with like optimization, finishing the content for release, so I'm glad they're helping us with like finding opportunities like this, and thanks again for showing the game.
Oh, and we thank you for applying and being part of IndieX. I know I mention this every year and every time we have a new game, but the average quality of the games is rising so fast every single year, and as you can see by Firegirl, this year is no exception. The game looks amazing. It's really hard to put into words how fluid it feels to play, and the environment, all the lights and everything looks great. So very nice job that you and your team did here.
Thank you. I hope you like the final version even more because we tried to make the gameplay even more fluid and even more comfortable to play.
Is
Like
it going to feel very different from this version?
a little bit. It's less rigid. It's more fluid. The game is also a little easier now.
Okay.
It's a little less punishing. We tried to make the game more comfortable.
Seems nice. I finished one run and it was free, but all the other
Yeah,
ones I think went nice. Yes.
and you finished the demo. I cannot say that of everyone that's played this on the stream. So good job.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add, or if there's anyone in the of the viewers that has any question.
Yeah, if you have questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at Digima Games or on Steam on the community hub. Don't hesitate. We're like answering all the questions, and I hope like don't hesitate to wishlist the game. Of course, that really helps. And yeah, I can wait for everyone to get their hands on the game on December 14 on Steam and next year on consoles.
And pay attention to the award ceremony. Let's see how it goes for Firegirl. If the juries enjoyed it as much as I did,
Okay.
it's if my memory isn't failing, it's on the 17th, 22 22 Lisbon time. And
Okay.
yeah, thanks for joining once more. Let's call it a day for Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescue, which is an awesome name.
Thank
Let
you.
me say it. Sometimes there's I think when I play some games that people are just sitting at the table and they're like, oh, this would be a really cool name, and they develop the whole game around the name. Was it here this way? The Hack and Splash connected you to the firefighter theme, or you just found out the name randomly and thought, oh, this was an awesome name?
Nah, I think if I remember correctly, me and the lead artist were just like goofing around and saying stupid things and how we could sell this as a hack and splash and that's where it came from. No, it was just us being idiots and it stuck
Which
for
is
better
the way you
or
get the
worse.
best ideas.
Yeah, I think so too. I
Okay.
like to think so too.
So thanks again, and see you next year, hopefully with the next unnamed game that you have in store for us.
Yeah, totally. Would love to.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.